Smooth. It was the end of summer of 2017. A buddy of mine gave me a single board computer, and I was hearing that these boards was great for emulation. And with that love for nostalgia, I wanted to do something big. The NES was my favorite childhood console. To this day, I still have my mom's console, which she told me to keep up with after I bought her the Hyperkin Retron HD, which is the remade NES with HDMI. I love those things. Now that I had it for so many years, I look back at it and I wanted to do something else. I wanted to do something different. And over time, the parts that I have up in there was outdated. I wanted to do other projects that with my single board computer, which is basically called the Raspberry Pi. Wanted to add it more, just something new of the things that I learned over time. So let's get into it. Let's give you the revamp or the remake version of the entertainment console. Before we go any further, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Clicking like and subscribing is always a big help. Now sit back, relax with us, and let's get into it. Oh my goodness, if you guys don't know who we are, my name is Famous Kid.
Echo Ryan.
We've been doing this for quite a few years, and we've been enjoying doing content for you guys, and it goes everywhere. I mean, sometimes.
And we're just so thankful for those who do continue following us, even throughout all these years, seeing us in shows and everything else.
Exactly. Well, we're gonna jump right into it, yo. Now, back then, we was on this, we was collected. I mean,
we didn't even know what we were even collecting. In some cases, just trying to add on.
And most of it. Now, when it came down to games, the game wasn't no problem. Collecting games was oh yeah, second hand. I mean, we were just getting it.
It's fun.
And then, so the next thing we started wanting to do, we wanted to do projects. We thought it was fun. You do cosplays and stuff.
Yeah.
So a lot of times she likes to make certain cosplays, and I remember that time we went to
was it GameStop Expo?
I think so.
Yeah, it was GameStop Expo.
Getting pictures of people and meeting people and meeting new people that's related, that was relatable to our since our craft that we was doing when it came down to Final Fantasy 13, one of my favorite games. But back to this, as we start building, I wanted to come up with a concept. My buddy Josh had came to me. He had a Raspberry Pi. Now, I've been hearing about these things for a long time, but I just never really indulged myself into it. But he came to me one day and he said, "Hey, I got this little board, and I want you to take it." And I'm like, okay. One thing I don't like keeping nobody's stuff. I always wanted one, but I just didn't want to touch it because I was like, it wasn't mine. So he was like, I said, well, I don't want to screw this up. And
you were so afraid.
Oh my goodness. He was like, bro, just take it. He said, if you mess it up, it's okay. If you break it, it's okay. Just take it. Just see what you could do with it. That's exactly what he said. He said, just see what you could do with it. Before I jumped up into it, I sat there and I was reading like articles and different things like that. Basically saying, okay, forget it. I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna try some stuff, and I'm gonna do it. I sat like all night, and I figured it out.
I think it was like 2 or 3 days.
I finally figured it out. And when I got it up to where that I was actually able to start gaming, I was like, okay, so I wanted to come up with concepts. I wanted to come up with different concepts of trying to build something bigger around this little bitty device. So my first idea was Legos. You remember?
Yes.
It was Legos. I wanted to build a console out of Legos, and I thought that was just kind of fun. In there, and it just hit me. Let's build a giant Nintendo, just like out there. So it's just I wanted to try it. I mean, I'm not that good at building at all. I mean, I'm not, but I just wanted to kind of dabble with it and let's see what we can do. And you just came right on board with it.
I think the question you said, I want to do something really stupid. I'm like, okay, that sounds like normal to us.
Exactly.
how about we build this? I'm like, okay.
And you were just all on board for it, and you jump right into it because. And one thing I do love about like the stuff that you do, because you're into like, you know, saying you into the schools and you into like doing crafts with kids and stuff, and she does that. And so this
even
right here was right there.
Building shelves.
Yeah.
You bring it in. It's just like if he actually were to build a shelf without me, and I did it, and I didn't even know, I'd be mad.
And I mean, she's into that, so she jumped right on board, and I mean, and was grabbing the tools, and I mean, and doing the salt, and I'm like, oh, I can't do something. And she was going at it, the painting, everything. She was like, don't paint without me. She just, it was so fun, but we had a great time putting that together, and we did not know what we were doing.
I actually, as far as painting goes, I think I probably started feeling some kind of a way because I had spray paint inside the box, so you got the fumes going and everything, and then oh man, it was just.
I mean, like, we wasn't doing nothing right, no protection, nothing. We was doing everything just wrong. Everything was wrong. Everything was wrong. All the safety measures that a person will tell you on YouTube or anybody. I mean, if somebody would tell you on the street or you read the fine print or directions, we didn't do none of that. We screwed everything up. I mean, but we was having fun that night. Maybe because of the paint, but we was having fun that night.
I was smiling that
night. But we actually got that thing done, and we had, it doesn't matter that it wasn't perfect, but we had a great time doing it, and the kids loved it. I always know that I make mistakes, and I know that I'm not perfect, so it's just like, okay, some mistakes are decent mistakes, as long as you ain't burning down nothing, or you ain't blowing up nothing, or you ain't really breaking too much. I mean, it's okay. I mean, we're gonna, you know, this was basically what it is, trial and error. Let's introduce the entertainment chess. Check it out. You know, with the parts that we use, it was actually used parts. It was upgrading. We've been pretty much been doing computer builds, and we got some. Yeah, I really don't show off my computer builds, you know, and I'm gonna explain to you some of the specs and everything. But I just, you know, but the whole concept of it and how I wanted to, because my whole thought was I wanted to do something more bigger than the pie. I wanted to do something more to where that it can actually be able to play better games and all in one. That was the whole thing I wanted to do.
You literally built a Nintendo tower.
Yeah, but it's in our own style.
Even
in the way the design is, everything's the other way around. The paint, everything. We did it completely different for us to where that we wanted to enjoy ourselves in our own style. And that was our concept. The love for nostalgia and all of our games and all of our stuff that we have, and it's just, we basically put it in there to where that we can be able to play these games. The kids can play these games, mostly me. They play these games, and enjoy those classic games, and it does so much, and it's you know what, even after we do this, I'm gonna be still, and I can still add more. And you know, my one of the livest things I want to say is I'm able to play PC games too. I'm not no keyboard and mouse person, but to be able to play some of the games that have full controller support, I am a big fan of. So it may not play like everything completely like to where I can play high frames and 4K and everything else, but because I have other builds for that. But huge shout out to my father-in-law.
My dad.
Yeah. when he when he did the arcade for us, that was another concept that I thought about, and he jumped right into it.
He actually was asking them, let me just see some measurements.
It was supposed I was going to do it.
I sent it to him. 2 days later, it was built. I'm like, okay.
So.
And it's just amazing, and he was like, he got so hyped up, and just being able to be part of.
And then there was me. I came in, and I saw the passion of what he loved to do with wood. And here's me. I'm into stuff like this in gaming. I'm like, well, let's try this. And I told her about this a long time. I said, why don't you ask your dad to see if he wants to try out to do maybe a project like in arcade. And it's, and she held him a conversation. He went right on board with it and stuff. And then, but after he did that, or whatever, time went, and just this past last year over Thanksgiving, it was just a conversation. That's it. And I wanted to redo the entertainment console at that point in time. That's what I called it at the point in time. And I wanted to get into the entertainment console. And he was listening, and I was talking to Wifey.
But his face was glowing at the same time, too.
He wanted to jump. He jumped right on it.
He did.
And you know what? Enough of us talking. Let's go ahead and click over there and get an interview with him. Check it out.
Now, I'm not too good at memorizing word verbatim, so I had to write some notes down. How long have you been in this hobby, like building?
I've been doing it for years. Pinterest is my probably favorite.
What inspires you to get into like wanting to try out crafting in the video game area?
Well, in the video game, you guys were my inspiration for that. It just kind of, I don't know, it just kind of fell into place. And you guys really turned me on to the video thing. Oh, you guys, you showed me a picture and that's what you wanted, and we came up with the best way we could.
And being that this was your first time building an arcade cabinet, how did you feel to see it come to life and seeing the kids enjoy it?
You know what? It's always great watching the kids, making a highlight for them in their life. But, Famous, he handed me this Nintendo box about this big, and I looked at it, and I said, well, I think I can come up with something like that. And, one thing led to another, piece by piece, and we did it. Yeah.
And even the other arcade cabinet that you built that we put the controller into.
That worked. Well, that was a project. Yeah.
When you first heard about us rebuilding this giant entertainment system, when we first brought it to you, like you were saying, we noticed the excitement. We actually looked at, okay, how many days is he going to have this built? Because I remember when we showed he said, just send us a plan to the arcade cabinet. Within 2 days, the arcade cabinet was built. What was going through your head?
Well, probably first of all, can I really do this? I had my doubts because, I hadn't put together something like this. But, picture after picture, Famous helping me out about how he wants this at a certain angle for the monitor. Now you got an area for the keyboard and the controls. Drill a hole here, so we can get the wires through there. And so, it was a challenge, but I like the challenge. I've always liked challenges. And you know what? We just, he kept in touch with me, and just to make sure everything was going right. And we ended up putting it together. It was so cool. Like you said before, watching something happen in front of you is, that was the highlight. And then watching the kids play, with the entertainment.
And one thing I know about Famous, he's very open-minded when it comes to big ideas. A lot of people, when they ask you to build things, they're picky. You want this and that, so forth. And it's because of the fact he was open-minded when it came to ideas. He basically let you create the second vision. Did you and Bentley really enjoy hanging out, doing this project? I'm pretty sure he put his little paw in it.
Oh yeah, Bentley, he's awesome. He goes down the garage with me and he'll lay out in front. I had power tools, the noises, that doesn't bother him at all. He just hangs out there with me, and he's good company. But Famous talking about open-minded, and I remember coming over here, and he had mentioned that he wanted to do, he wanted to make a Nintendo thing. And I think he kind of wanted my feedback, and I said, well, you know, so I'm thinking in my head, I'm thinking, well, maybe we could do this together, you know, and because I got some tools, you know, that'll help along, and so yeah, we ended up putting it all together. And then Echo, your ideas, you know, as far as, you know, how big, you know, and what else that you wanted to have for that. And yeah, like you said, you know, we all worked together. It came out nice, yeah.
And we hope you all out there love it too. And we hope that this gives inspiration to us all. It definitely gives us inspiration to us as well, and many others who would like to maybe get into a hobby like this or recreate maybe something of their own.
I learned so much from you guys, you know, famous building computers, putting that Nintendo, the inside of that, putting that together and watching that happen.
Or before this interview, you were saying, no, I don't want to be on here, you know, take all the credit, put your tools out on the floor and all that, you know. I'm like, no, we're going to pull you in here. And, you know, it's really been an honor to be able to show you your work and the finishing products and just having you part of this. It's been awesome.
You know, you guys.
Again, I should actually say the arcade cabinet and now this.
Yeah.
No.
You guys did an awesome job finishing the finishing product, you know, and painting and, you know, putting your decal on there. And just phenomenal. You know, I would never come up with something like this. I can work with the wood and you know, make it I'm glad that it worked out for you guys.
I hope that for people who may not know too much about video games or thinking about, definitely inspires others as well what they can do, and what you think you can't do, it can be done, you know?
Absolutely. You know, especially when you got three people, you know, we put our heads together and it's amazing, you know, what you can do together. So, yeah. Thank you so much for allowing me to, you know, be a part of this, because I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
I can show y'all this all day.
Yep.
And this is all. But you know what? Let's get some in-depth look at the intro, real close, and some gameplay. Check it out.
All right, let's get into some presentation and some gameplay.
This black shit is still happening. Stop, look, down before the time stop. Retro games, that's some nonsense with some hip hop. We are winning, the one who win the rich dance. Yeah, on some subjects, kicking with some ink gas. VGI stream hard through the internet. We are winning, the one who win the rich dance. Game news from the news, the movies, even on anime. 5 goes so fast, gotta push replay. We are winning, the one who win the rich dance. At the time of toy slings and some fly comics only in 5, the stretch by yawning. For the streets, the beats, lap up and slap hands, 5-minute retro, gotta pop it with a jam.
Alright, let's go. We're gonna go try out a few games here. And as far as like the camera towards the screen, I did not plug this thing up to a capture device. This is just regular, so you're seeing everything just on its own. So let's go ahead and try out Mortal Kombat. There are a lot of tutorials on how to set up big box. If you guys ever wanted to set up your own, maybe a arcade cabinet or maybe just a setup like this for just your games to be able to play your stuff. You guys think about the graphics compared to like the new let's see if I can just get a couple moves. There we go. There we go. Let's get down. Oh yeah. And quite frankly, when you play these games like, you know, on like, you know, like emulation like this and everything else, like compared to like the original, I mean, it's definitely a big difference. I mean, unless you just get all the components that you need as far as like HDMI cables and modding and stuff. Like when it comes down to like messing with the Nintendo 64, which I don't want to do anything to my Nintendo 64. I like to keep it like just original, and you know, I have my games that I have, and I just ready, if I want to play it, I rather just play it original, and then like with stuff like this, I can just play it like this on the computer, and or you know, like now you can like pretty much just play these type of games on pretty much anything. There's like cell phones, anything, you know, tablets, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You could play. I mean, that's the fun part about it.
We hope y'all. It's
As you can see, we had a ton of fun building it. The many hours that it took you just to build this to get the tech part of it.
Definite build that we can keep adding. I mean, it was a budget build. I mean, it was the parts that we had, and I ordered a couple of things, but it wasn't nothing bad. But we want to thank you guys for hanging in there, hanging with us, and we hope that you guys like the build we did. And from gamer to gamer.
Nice, I like that. You're singing in the beginning.
You think so? Yeah. Whatever. Thanks for watching.